Monaco is the tightest street circuit on the Formula One calendar, a place where the smallest margins matter. It is a race where hundredths of a second decide outcomes, separating true legends from the also-rans.
I thought it was too much of a coincidence, and it absolutely was, so hence the red.
But every year, something almost as spectacular as the race itself takes over Port Hercule, and it literally floats on the water. These trackside berths are among the most expensive in the world. An 89m yacht can cost more than €150,000 for a single weekend. This weekend, the world's most expensive superyachts arrived in this tiny principality. Some of them even belong to the very drivers competing on the circuit.
These trackside berths are the most expensive though. An 89-metre boat will pay more than €150,000.
We're going inside the most jaw-dropping vessels owned by F1 drivers, a team principal, and a billionaire team owner whose yacht makes everything else in the harbor look like a bathtub toy. Let's get into it. Port Hercule, the floating city. Before we get to the yachts themselves, we need to understand where they all come together. Port Hercule stands as the most prestigious and visually spectacular venue on the entire F1 calendar, and every single year it transforms into one of the most impressive floating showcases of superyachts anywhere in the world, with dozens lining the harbor to deliver unbeatable trackside views of the iconic street circuit. And the price tag to park here is absolutely eye-watering. For the 83rd edition of the Monaco Grand Prix this year, every single berth is taken, with each vessel paying anywhere from $10,000 to $158,000 in mooring fees depending on size and exact location in the harbor. Think about that for a second. You're not paying for a hotel room, you're paying just to park your boat. And the prime positions, the ones sitting directly alongside the circuit, don't come cheap at all. To give you perspective, the 400-foot superyacht Kismet is available for charter this Monaco weekend at roughly $3.3 million for the week, and on top of that, securing a coveted trackside berth inside Monaco's restricted zone comes with official mooring charges of around $165,000 including tax just for the race weekend alone. That's $165,000 just to park. During Grand Prix week, the entire harbor turns into premium real estate, with berths booked from Monday to Monday, and the most track-adjacent spots commanding truly eye-watering prices. An 89-meter yacht in the prime section near the circuit can easily exceed $150,000 for the week, and if you want in at all, you have to apply through the Port Authority at least 8 months in advance. For the world's wealthiest guests, that six-figure docking fee is simply the price of entry into the most exclusive waterfront theater in motorsport. Monaco's harbor becomes a floating city filled with billionaires, celebrities, executives, and even royalty during race week, with superyachts themselves becoming part of the spectacle. Welcome to Monaco, where normal rules simply don't apply. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Just 1 month before the Monaco Grand Prix, the home hero himself made one of the most talked-about yacht deliveries in the paddock. Charles Leclerc, Monaco-born Ferrari driver, racing car number 16, took delivery of an absolutely stunning new superyacht, and naturally he named it Setesai, Italian for 16. The Ferrari star has taken delivery of the Riva 102 Corsaro Super, a sleek Italian superyacht valued at around $19 million, joining his increasingly refined Mediterranean lifestyle. The launch ceremony took place on May 7, 2026, at Riva's La Spezia production facility, which specializes in yachts between 76 and 130 feet. Leclerc received the 20th hull of the 102 Corsaro Super, and the symbolism runs deep, since Setesai reflects both his racing number and his birthday on October 16. The yacht was even christened in viral fashion as Alexandra performed the traditional champagne bottle smash on the bow, a moment that racked up over 500,000 views within days. Inside, the flybridge features a fully equipped outdoor galley with an oversized grill, induction cooktops, refrigerators, and an ice maker, effectively turning the upper deck into an open-air restaurant above the sea. A 35-square-meter beach club expands the lifestyle even further, offering direct access to the water along with inflatable platforms for swimming and water toys. Powered by twin MTU engines, the yacht cruises at 24 knots and can reach up to 28 knots at full speed. And here's a detail many people miss. Riva is also an official sponsor and partner of the Ferrari F1 team, with its branding appearing on Leclerc's helmet and race car. So when he drives under the same brand he steps off his yacht from, docked right in his home harbor, it becomes one seamless lifestyle statement. Ferretti Group's CEO Alberto Galassi summed it up best at the launch, highlighting how a driver of Leclerc's caliber choosing their vessel reflects unmatched standards of design, comfort, and technology. Now, just $19 million, brand new, perfectly timed for Monaco, what a life. And then there's Max Verstappen, Unleash the Lion. If there is one yacht that has completely dominated conversations at Port Hercule, it's this one. A vessel that screams Max Verstappen before you even read the name on the stern. Unleash the Lion is a Mangusta Grand Sport 33 delivered by Overmarine in 2025, moored in Monaco's turquoise harbor with a presence that is instantly recognizable. The name stretches across the stern in bold lettering, paired with Verstappen's signature lion logo positioned between the words. He collected the yacht in Varazze, Italy, alongside his partner Kelly Piquet, later naming it Unleash the Lion, a phrase already tied closely to his personal brand. That branding continues beyond the water, with the same UTL initials appearing on his Dassault Falcon 8X private jet registered PHUTL. The yacht itself carries a dark, stealthy aesthetic with tinted glass and teak detailing, projecting a quiet aggression that mirrors its owner. At 33 meters, roughly 109 feet, it blends performance engineering with luxury, powered by 4 Volvo Penta D13 engines and IPS systems, reaching speeds of around 26 knots and cruising comfortably at 21. It offers a range of over 300 nautical miles, ideal for Mediterranean travel, and accommodates up to 10 guests across 5 staterooms including a full owner's suite. With a base price around $12 million, rising with customizations to roughly $15 million, plus annual upkeep exceeding $1.2 million, it's an extreme asset even by Monaco standards. A simple hour run to Saint-Tropez from Monaco feels normal in a vessel like this, while berths in places like Cap d'Isle can cost over $12,000 a month in peak season, even more during F1 week. It sounds outrageous, but in Monaco, it's just another level of normal. 4 world championships, a $15 million yacht, and a harbor full of superyachts, and somehow this is everyday life here. And finally George Russell, Pershing 6X. While some drivers go for floating palaces, George Russell chose something entirely different, something built for speed. The Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 driver entered the world of high-performance yachting with the Pershing 6X, a 62-foot luxury sport yacht designed to reflect the same precision, speed, and technology he experiences in Formula One.
And how I see my days off. So I think it was a perfect combination to combine the fast and also the slow yacht.
He elaborated further. The Pershing 6X is a 62-foot performance yacht that perfectly suits a driver who values pace above everything else. It is powered by twin V12 engines and can reach around 48 knots, roughly 55 miles per hour, making it seriously quick in boating terms. Inside, it features 3 cabins and space for up to 6 guests, making it ideal for short escapes with family or friends rather than long cruising expeditions. The value is estimated at more than $3 million, placing it firmly in the luxury bracket even by Monaco standards. Now here is where it gets interesting. George Russell is also linked to Pershing as an ambassador, which naturally raises questions about whether he paid full retail price, received a discount, or operates under a brand partnership arrangement, though that detail remains private. Russell has also spoken about what the yacht gives him mentally between race weekends, describing how boats offer a rare sense of privacy where you can escape completely and choose how close or distant you want to be from the mainland. He also talks about the emotional hangover that follows every Monday after a Grand Prix weekend, where win or lose the pressure remains intense, and the Pershing becomes his antidote. Fast, private, and capable of 48 knots across the open Mediterranean, it represents the perfect weekend reset. Now shifting to a very different approach, Fernando Alonso enters the conversation with an eco-catamaran. The man who has done everything in Formula One, including multiple world championships, over 20 seasons, and more than 350 race starts, chose a yacht that stands in complete contrast to everyone else on this list.
Pershing just sort of felt like the right fit for me, especially my age.
2-time Formula One world champion Fernando Alonso became one of the most notable owners of an eco-friendly yacht after taking delivery of a custom Sunreef Eco 60 power catamaran in 2023, a vessel designed to be solar-powered, whisper-quiet, and focused on gliding smoothly across the Mediterranean rather than powering through it at high intensity. And his chosen model is fitted with an ultralight battery system, along with an advanced solar array that spans 68.6 square meters of surface area, generating up to 13 kilowatts of clean energy, while inside the yacht's sustainable materials define the atmosphere and comfort is built for up to 6 guests and 4 crew members, and Alonso has described the experience on board as being about peace of mind, fresh air, and good company, emphasizing that yachting should not be driven by ego but instead should focus on sharing meaningful moments while respecting the environment. And when speaking about solar integration, he noted that there are many ways to add solar panels to a yacht, but they often do not look visually appealing, a comment that reflects his blunt honesty and confidence, while he also explained the layout of his vessel by saying that even with a full group on board there is still plenty of space and that for him it feels like having a villa on the water, a place where he can spend time with family and friends, with the multi-hull design offering more opportunities and stability compared to a monohull, especially for guests who may struggle with seasickness, and this choice highlights a very different mindset from the usual flashy superyacht culture, representing a quieter and more environmentally conscious direction for someone who has spent decades in one of the loudest and most intense environments in sport, and that contrast says everything about Alonso compared with others in Formula One. While shifting back into the broader world of Monaco yacht culture, and Lewis Hamilton enters the discussion as one of the most recognizable figures in the sport, a seven-time world champion who does not necessarily own a super yacht outright, but is frequently seen chartering high-profile vessels around the Monaco Grand Prix where superyachts dominate the social scene, including notable appearances on a 55-meter Balletto yacht during race week festivities. And Hamilton's approach reflects a growing trend among high-net-worth individuals who prefer flexibility over ownership, allowing them to experience different yachts in different destinations without long-term maintenance or responsibility, and chartering offers exactly that freedom for both celebrities and drivers who want variety without commitment. Although there have been ongoing rumors that Hamilton may now own a new yacht, an Amels 80 by Damon Yachting, though this has not been confirmed. And if true, it would represent a major addition to his lifestyle as an 80-meter Dutch-built super yacht. But until there is official confirmation, he remains best known as the grid's most famous charter enthusiast, and in many ways that approach fits his personality since it allows maximum flexibility with minimal attachment, different boats for different moods and destinations, and no concern over upkeep or logistics, and given his second-place finish at the 2026 Monaco Grand Prix behind Kimi Antonelli, it is safe to say his focus remains on racing rather than ownership details, because sometimes performance on track matters more than what is waiting offshore, and moving away from drivers entirely. The story shifts to team principals where the scale of yachts becomes even more extreme, especially with Toto Wolff, the Mercedes team boss and architect of one of the most dominant eras in Formula One history.
My choice and how I see my days off. So I think it was a perfect combination to combine the fast and also the slow yachting.
Who owns a Mangusta 165 acquired in 2023 that stretches over 50 meters in length and around 9 meters in width and can reach speeds of up to 35 knots, typically docked in Monaco and featuring a custom interior personally designed by Wolff himself, which is no surprise given his reputation for control and precision in every detail of his professional life. And this yacht reportedly cost over $25 million and represents a clear step above many driver-owned vessels, while rumors even circulated when it was spotted near Sardinia at the same time as Max Verstappen's Mangusta Grand Sport 33 unleashed the lion, sparking speculation about a possible private meeting between the Mercedes boss and the Red Bull champion, although there is no confirmation and it may simply be coincidence. But in the world of Formula One, nothing is ever taken at face value. And beyond ownership, Wolff has also been linked to collaborations with yacht designer Luca Bassani on concepts for a 65-meter carbon fiber sailing yacht featuring a gym, helicopter storage, and a calm minimalist interior. Though that project remains in early design stages due to time constraints, yet it reflects a mindset that is always thinking ahead, always building, always planning the next step even beyond the track. And then the narrative shifts again to Lawrence Stroll, billionaire owner of the Aston Martin F1 team. A man who quite literally bought into Formula One so his son could race at the highest level, and his yacht Faith is an 80-meter super yacht launched by Fedship to replace his previous 96.6-meter vessel Sophia, a change that may look like downsizing but is actually driven by practicality since the older yacht was too large for smaller marinas. Yet Faith still carries around 2,500 gross tons of volume and was famously transported through narrow Dutch canals with a full specialist team guiding it to open water, a journey that went viral across social media, and this vessel is valued at around $225 million with annual running costs reaching up to $20 million per year, accommodating 14 guests and a crew of 25, and every year it appears in Monaco positioned near the circuit with its bow facing the sea, and despite being smaller than Sophia, it sacrifices nothing in luxury or scale. Featuring a helicopter deck that can be converted into a basketball court where guests are seen playing while the yacht is underway, and Faith itself was later sold to Michael Latifi, father of former F1 driver Nicolas Latifi, meaning the yacht lineage remains within F1 circles like passing down an ultra-luxury legacy, while Stroll himself uses tenders to move directly between the yacht and the paddock each day during race week, reinforcing how integrated Monaco life becomes with superyacht culture, and in contrast to typical travel methods like taxis or trains. Here a private tender from a $250 million vessel becomes the daily commute, highlighting the sheer scale of wealth concentrated in one place during Grand Prix weekend, And stepping back, the entire Monaco experience reveals why these yachts exist in the first place, offering privacy, fast access to the paddock, exclusive hospitality for sponsors and guests, temporary accommodation in a city where hotel prices skyrocket to tens of thousands of euros for a single weekend, and a lifestyle environment that blends racing with luxury entertainment, while even land-based options such as Sea View rooms at the Fairmont Monte Carlo or suites at Hotel Hermitage reach extreme prices during race week, making yacht cabins comparatively practical for some guests who also receive chefs, service staff, and direct views over the circuit. And during the race, the harbor becomes part of the spectacle itself, with engines echoing off the buildings, helicopters circling overhead, and tenders weaving through tightly packed super yachts filled with celebrities, executives, and royalty, turning Monaco into a floating city of extreme wealth and motorsport energy. And ultimately, whether it is drivers racing wheel to wheel above the harbor or stepping onto multi-million-dollar yachts below, they remain the central figures of a two-layered spectacle, one on land and one on water, and Monaco continues to sell this fantasy of speed, luxury, and exclusivity in one of the most visually dramatic locations in all of sport, and from Alonso's eco-conscious catamaran to Stroll's $250 million mega yacht, every vessel tells a different story about lifestyle, identity, and status in Formula One, making Grand Prix week not just a race but an entire world of its own where the harbor itself becomes as important as the circuit, and that is the reality of F1 off track at its most extreme. So the question remains simple after seeing it all: which of these yachts stands out the most in a sea of floating luxury at Monaco?